What is going on YouTube? It's Tuesday and that means it's time for another What Sold video. But I gotta be honest, sales this past week started off really slow. But that's okay because by the end of the week things started picking up, had a couple big sales, and I gotta say, it was probably a home run.
Start it up.
HP Sprocket Zinc photo paper. You guys may remember I sold one of these not too long ago. Paid $1 a piece for like 5 of these from a thrift store, listed them, and I've kind of forgot about them. They're starting to sell, and they sell for good money. This one sold for $44.99. I'm assuming they don't make this paper or that printer anymore. I'm not real sure, but be on the lookout for this stuff. It takes a little bit of time to sell, but it's worth it. So here's a brand you should definitely be on the lookout for. This is Howler Brothers. This is like a Western pearl snap short sleeve shirt. They also make some really cool hats. But I paid $4.75 for this shirt, listed it, and it sold in about 6 hours for 60 bucks. I probably could have waited and got like 69 for it. That was the most recent sold comp. But I took an offer for a quick sale and I can go ahead and ship it out. $4.75 in the 60s, pretty good for me for a shirt. These Logitech Harmony remotes can be worth some pretty good money. Now there's definitely some that aren't, but this one turned out to do pretty well. Paid $2 for it from a thrift store. I'm actually missing the charging cable and the thing that plugs into the wall, and it still sold for $72.50. I was able to test it because I actually bought 2 controllers that day for $2. The other one has the charging cable, so I was able to charge this one up, test it, worked great. And like I said, it sold for $72.50 in about 3 days. Shout out to my wife for finding this thing. It's actually a Harry Potter robe, or it's from Harry Potter. It's a Gryffindor robe. I'm not going to unfold it because it took me 9 forevers to fold it up like it is. But she was at Goodwill doing some personal shopping, saw this thing. They only wanted $3.75 for it. She sent me some pictures. I looked up comps, and yeah, I wanted it. It's actually from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios, so I can only imagine how much this thing cost new.
And that is, how much does the Harry Potter robe cost? Now, have to be real, I did already state it when I was doing my research for this video. I was very, very surprised by how expensive these robes are, and the Universal Orlando Harry Potter robes will cost you right around $115 at the time of this video.
But paid $3.75 for it, listed it, and it sold within a day for $76.50. I may have listed it too cheap, I'm not sure. Admittedly, I'm not a knife guy, but this one with a red blade caught my eye at a garage sale. The guy was asking $20 for it, and I saw a buck on it. I knew it could be pretty good, but I wasn't real sure. I actually left the garage sale, went to one across the street, and as I was walking over, I looked this up on eBay. It's the Buck Model 104, I think they call it the Compadre. And those seem to be selling really well, but I couldn't find one with a red blade on it. Decided to walk back over, ask him if he'd take 10 for it. We met in the middle at 15 and I picked it up. Worst case scenario, I thought it'd be a cool knife for me. I listed it and just to see what it would sell for, and it actually sold for $125. I actually may have listed it a little too cheap. I'm not real sure. The only comp I had was a new one that sold for like $170 something. So I figured $125 was pretty good for use, but like I said, I only paid $15 for it, so pretty good profit. So do you guys remember these things? They're actually called food fighters from Mattel back in the 80s. If you don't remember them, here's a refresher.
Yo, Burgundy, chew on this. You'll never cut the mustard, mean winner. Food fight!
Food fighters! Your history, Private Pizza. Pow! And your lunch. Combat curtain. Fire!
What's going on?
Joy's saying it's food again, Mom.
Food fighters, figures in combat carton each sold separately. Toys do not walk in bulk.
I vaguely remember food fighters. I didn't have them when I was little, but I kind of remember the commercial. Paid $60 for a big lot of G.I. Joe stuff at a garage sale, and that video is coming up. But these actually just sold for $125, these 7 food fighters, and they're definitely not in great condition. They're missing their weapons and their backpacks. Some of them are missing hats, they're missing paint. Still sold for $125, pretty good. So here's an older set of clubs that you should always be on the lookout for, and they're pretty easy to spot, and they always sell pretty quick as well. But these are tailor-made burner oversized irons. They're pretty easy to spot because they've got this gold color inlay and also gold color on the shafts here. These also have the bubble shaft, which makes it even more obvious. But I picked up these irons along with 2 fairway woods from a garage sale for 20 bucks, and the irons just sold for $155, sold in less than a week. So definitely be on the lookout for these burner iron sets. Admittedly, I've never heard of Anderson bats before. This is actually a fast pitch softball bat. Saw 2 of them at a garage sale, never heard of them, so I was kind of curious, looked them up, and I just put in Anderson bats in eBay, and comps were anywhere from 20 to over 200. So I decided to pick both of them up, pay $10 for actually 2 bats and a tennis rackets for personal use. But $5 a piece, one of them turned out to be worth about 40 bucks. This one actually just sold for $129.99. So be on the lookout for some of these Anderson bats. This is the RT 2.0 fast pitch softball bat. Pretty good pickup. Little Tommy for your mommy, not Tommy Hilfiger, but Tommy Armour. And honestly, I don't find very many Tommy Armour clubs that are worth decent money, but these turned out pretty well and good sell-through rate too. This is Tommy Armour TA1 irons and also a TA1 hybrid. I actually paid $55 for a bag of clubs at a garage sale. Had the irons and 2 hybrids and a putter in it. Sold these irons for 160 bucks, sold this 3 hybrid for 50, and I've also got a 4 hybrid and putter left to sell. So pretty good pickup for 55 bucks. So I sold a croquet set. This is a 6-person travel croquet set. Saw it at a garage sale. They wanted $10 for it. And honestly, I wouldn't have paid any attention to it if I hadn't seen this LL Bean logo. I saw that logo, decided to look it up, and comps look pretty good. And that set actually sold for $175, which is pretty cool. The strange thing, or at least to me, is that it's going to Colorado. When I think of croquet, I don't really think of Colorado. I think of like older folks in Florida, or like the English after they have a cup of tea. I don't really think of croquet in Colorado. Then I'm not a croquet expert, so what do I know? So I bought a big lot of G.I. Joes from a garage sale. They're all vintage G.I. Joe stuff, got vehicles, people, everything, and they're starting to sell. Sold Skycreeper, Headhunter, and Recondo. These 2 sold for $14 a piece, and then Recondo actually sold for $20. If you start to sell this vintage G.I. Joe stuff, one thing to note is condition is everything. You want to take really good pictures, describe any flaws, any loose limbs, anything like that, because more than likely this stuff is going to collectors and they want to know what they're getting. So make sure you describe everything really well, and like I said, take really good pictures, but there's definitely some profit there. So I sold this G.I. Joe. This is Backblast anti-aircraft soldier. Paid, I don't know, 50 cents or $1, bought him in a big bundle, and he sold for $14.50. Sold a Southern Tide hat, and honestly, I don't think this brand is as good as it used to be, but this hat still sold. It took a while, but it still sold. Paid $1 for it, and it sold for $19.95. It is in really good condition, like there's no staining or anything on the inside. So yeah, $1 into $19.95. If you ever find this game out in the wild for $1 or $2, it's probably worth picking up. I paid $1 for this one from a garage sale, and I only bought it because it was $1. I didn't know anything about it. But it's Minecraft Story Mode, the complete adventures for Xbox One, and it sold in 2 days for $22. The sell-through rate on this game is actually pretty good, so if you can find it for $1 or $2, probably worth picking up. You guys may remember I picked up a headset for $2 from a garage sale and sold it for some pretty big money, but I actually had some attachments that went with it, and I've been selling those separately. I sold one last week, and then this week I sold the touch to talk button. I'm not real sure. I think you push this to talk through the headset. I don't know, but it sold for $43. If you can find vintage golf head covers like this, especially the characters, the ones that look like stuffed animals, they can be worth some decent money. Paid $1 for Daffy Duck here, and he sold for $24.50. Probably took a month or so to sell, but either way, pretty good profit.
Just hit the darn ball!
So these Wii Rock Band dongles are always good for a quick flip. I don't really have anything in this. I found it at the bottom of a box that had a Wii in it. I actually found 2 of these, and this one just sold for $21. So Tour Pure water filters. These are like little cartridges that go into a special water filter pitcher, kind of like a Brita pitcher, but paid $1 a piece for 5 of them at a church sale, and this one just sold for $29.95. Actually going to Canada, and they're all in like 45 bucks. More water filters going out. You already know, paid $1 at a church sale, sold for $29.99. Be on the lookout for these Turapure. So I paid $4.75 for this Masters shirt just because I'd never seen one like it before, and come to find out it wasn't worth a whole lot. It actually sold for $22. I took an offer, I had it listed for like $25, but just happy to see it go. But I don't pick up Masters stuff as much as I used to anymore. Certain brands I definitely will, but it just seems the market's gotten saturated and the prices have come down, but still a decent profit, I guess. This is a Momentous swing trainer. It's basically just a weighted golf club. Some of them do have a special grip on them. This one doesn't. It's basically 48-ounce golf club. I guess it builds up your strength as you're swinging. Not real sure, but they always sell really well. Paid $5 for it at a garage sale, and it sold for $43.50. So this sale kind of surprised me. These are a set of TaylorMade TD Tour Preferred irons. It's a 2 through pitch and wedge, missing the 4-iron actually, and they sold for $105. Actually picked up a big bag of golf clubs from a garage sale, paid $25 for it, and it was a bunch of random stuff, but it did have 2 complete sets and also 2 wedges. I've already sold the 2 wedges for $90, and so this is just profit. But like I said, sold for $105. If these had been sitting on the shelf at Goodwill, I probably wouldn't have given them a second glance, but now I know, and so do you. I'm not gonna say this was a bad buy, but I definitely paid too much for this driver. Paid $20 for this TaylorMade R7 425 driver. In my mind, I was thinking it'd go for like 80 bucks. I didn't look up comps. I should have. It actually sold for 50. So 20 into 50, still going to make a profit, but just not what I expected. So Chacos are starting to move all of a sudden. I guess it's summertime. I sold 2 pair last week and then this pair this week. This is actually a pair of kids Chacos. Paid $3 for it. I took an offer of $25. Disney Infinity stuff going out. These are the characters from Disney's Inside Out movie. Paid $25 for a big lot of these things from a garage sale. Definitely took a long time to sort through and list everything, but I've made my buddy back a couple times over, and these just sold for $35, so that's even better.